You just spent $87 on something you will probably use once, maybe twice if you are being optimistic. You already knew you did not need it while you were checking out. You already knew you had something at home that does basically the same job. You already knew that money should have gone into savings instead, but you bought it anyway, and now it is sitting in your closet with the tag still on it. It is a physical reminder of a purchase you cannot even explain. This is not weakness, and it is not stupidity. It is psychology, and in 2026, the systems designed to get you to spend money on things you do not need have become so advanced that resisting them means understanding exactly how your brain is being pushed around. My name is Claire, and I have spent years studying why smart, financially aware people still buy things they know are unnecessary and then regret it almost immediately. If you have ever bought something you did not need and could not explain why, or if you want to understand the psychological battle being fought against your bank account every day, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this information helps you. Here is what is really happening. Every unnecessary purchase you make is the result of your brain being manipulated by a mix of ancient survival wiring and modern marketing technology. Your brain evolved to solve problems that no longer exist, and companies in 2026 know exactly which buttons to press to shut off your logic and trigger purchases you never truly wanted. The scary part is that knowing this does not automatically protect you. You can understand exactly how you are being influenced and still fall for it, because these psychological systems work below your conscious awareness. Let me break down the exact triggers that are draining your finances, starting with the strongest one, the illusion of scarcity. Your brain developed in a world where resources were genuinely scarce. If you found food and did not eat it immediately, you might not find more later. If you saw something valuable and did not take it, somebody else might. That created a deep psychological response to scarcity that made perfect sense thousands of years ago but makes no sense now, in a world where most things are abundant and always available if you want them. Retailers know this, and they have turned it into a weapon. Meet Sarah. She is scrolling Instagram at 11 p.m. when she sees an ad for a sweater. It looks nice, but she does not need another sweater. She already has 8. But the ad says there are only 3 left in her size, and the sale ends in 4 hours, and suddenly her brain fills with anxiety. What if she misses out? What if this is the perfect sweater and she never finds it again? What if she regrets not buying it tomorrow? None of that is rational. There is no real sweater shortage. The company will make more sweaters. She can probably find something similar somewhere else, but her evolutionary brain does not care about logic. It sees scarcity and shouts, "Buy it now before it disappears." So she buys the sweater at 11:15 p.m. for $89. It arrives 3 days later. She tries it on, decides it does not look as good in real life as it did online, and it ends up in her closet for 6 months before she donates it with the tag still attached. This exact story happens millions of times every day in 2026 because scarcity marketing has become so precise and everywhere that you cannot even scroll through an app without seeing it. Only 2 rooms left at this price. Flash sale ends in 3 hours. Limited quantity available. 10 other people are looking at this right now. Every one of those messages is designed to trigger your scarcity reaction and shut down your ability to think clearly about whether you even need the thing. What makes this even more dangerous in 2026 is that artificial intelligence has made scarcity marketing personalized and dynamic. The website is not just showing you a countdown timer. It is watching your behavior in real time and changing the scarcity message based on what it thinks will make you buy. If you are a skeptical shopper who ignores "only 3 left" messaging, the algorithm learns that and tries a different angle. If you are the kind of person who panics when inventory is low, it amplifies that message. The scarcity you are seeing might not even be real. It may be generated purely because the system knows it is the most effective way to make you purchase. The second psychological trigger wrecking your finances is what I call the identity purchase trap. You do not buy things only because you need them. You buy things because of what they say about who you are or who you want to become. That is why people spend thousands of dollars on exercise equipment they never use, kitchen gadgets for healthy cooking they never actually do, and books they never read. They are not really buying the object. They are buying an identity. Marcus wants to be the kind of person who wakes up early and works out before heading to work. He imagines himself as fit, disciplined, and healthy. So when he sees a premium home gym system, his brain does not ask, "Do I need weights and machines?" His brain asks, "Is this who I want to be?" And the answer to that second question is always yes. So he buys the gym equipment for $2,300. He uses it intensely for 2 weeks, then casually for another month, and after that it becomes an expensive place to hang clothes. The purchase was not irrational in relation to his goal. If he actually used it regularly, it could save gym membership money and improve his health. The irrational part was believing that buying the equipment automatically makes him the kind of person who uses the equipment. The purchase felt like progress toward the identity he wanted, but the purchase itself does not create the identity. The daily habit does, and that is much harder than clicking buy now. This identity-driven buying is absolutely everywhere in 2026 because social media has made identity performance more important than ever. You are not just buying a yoga mat, you are buying the ability to post about being the kind of person who does yoga. You are not just buying a cookbook, you are buying the feeling that you are someone who cares about cooking. The object is secondary to the identity signal it gives off. Here is why that destroys your finances. Identity purchases give you an immediate emotional hit the moment you buy them, but they almost never deliver the actual transformation you paid for. Marcus felt like a fitness person the second he ordered that home gym. That feeling was the real thing he bought, not the equipment. The unused machine sitting in his house does not erase how good the purchase felt in the moment, which is why a few months later, he will probably make another identity purchase for a different version of the person he wishes he were. The third trigger is social proof and comparison, and this one has become toxic in 2026. Your brain evolved to survive in small tribes where fitting in was literally a matter of life and death. If your group rejected you, you died. That created intense pressure to match the people around you. In a tribe of 50 people, that made sense. In a world where you are constantly exposed to the curated lives of millions of people on social media, it becomes a financial disaster. Jessica sees her college friend post about a weekend trip to wine country. The pictures are gorgeous. It looks amazing. Her brain does not think nice for her. It thinks, why am I not doing that? Everyone else is having experiences and I am sitting here. I am falling behind. I am missing out on life. Within an hour, she has booked a similar trip for next month for $850, and she will probably put it on a credit card because she does not have the cash. This is not rational behavior. Jessica was not unhappy with her life before she saw those photos. She had her own goals and priorities, and they did not involve frequent wine country weekends. But the social proof of someone else doing it triggered a comparative anxiety that could only be relieved by doing the same thing. She is not buying the trip because she truly wants the trip. She is buying it because not buying it makes her feel like she is falling behind some imaginary standard that does not even exist. The comparison economy in 2026 is built to create this anxiety constantly. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of them are designed to maximize engagement, and comparison generates huge engagement. You see people's new cars, new homes, new clothes, vacations, dinners, and purchases all day long. Your brain gets flooded with comparison data it is not built to process sensibly. You start feeling like everyone is doing better than you, spending more than you, living more than you, because you are only seeing the highlights from hundreds or thousands of lives at once. That creates what I call comparison spending, where you buy things not because you want them, but because other people having them makes you feel inferior. The purchase does not actually fix the feeling, because there is always somebody else buying something you do not have, but your brain keeps telling you that the next purchase will finally make you feel caught up. It never does. The fourth psychological trigger destroying finances in 2026 is the micro-purchase trap. Your brain thinks carefully about big purchases. If you are considering a $30,000 car, you will research it, compare options, and seriously ask whether you can afford it. But your brain barely registers small purchases at all. $20, $30. Those amounts do not activate your financial warning system. They feel tiny, so you buy them without thinking. The problem is that 20 or 30 tiny purchases in a month become hundreds of dollars. 20 such purchases is $400. 40 is $800. These micro purchases create massive spending you never consciously chose. Then you look at your credit card statement and wonder how you spent $2,000 when you did not buy anything big. It is because you made 75 purchases of $20 to $40 each, and each one felt too small to matter. The micro purchase economy in 2026 has been optimized to perfection. Free shipping over $25, so you add one more thing to hit the threshold. Buy now, pay later services that turn a $100 purchase into four $25 payments that feel harmless. Subscription services that are only $12 a month, which sounds like nothing until you have 8 of them, and now it is actually $96 every month. Retailers have figured out how to make purchases feel smaller than they really are so they can slip past your financial defenses. David downloads a mobile game. It is free. He plays it for a week and enjoys it. Then he gets stuck on a level and the game offers a power-up for $2.99. That is less than a coffee. He buys it. A few days later, he needs more currency to keep moving. That is $4.99. Still no big deal. Then a special character is available for a limited time. $9.99. A little more, but he plays the game daily, so he justifies it. Over 3 months, David spends $237 on a free game and does not notice until he checks his credit card because each individual purchase felt too small to matter. This trap is everywhere. Food delivery apps where every order is only $25 or $30, so it does not feel like much even though you order 4 times a week and spend $500 a month. Amazon, where each item is only $15 to $40, so you keep adding to your cart without realizing you are placing orders 3 times a week. Coffee shops where it is only $6, so you go every day and somehow spend $180 a month without thinking of it as a serious expense. The 5th trigger is convenience exploitation, and this one is newer in 2026. Your brain is lazy, but in an efficient way. It is always trying to save energy and avoid effort by taking shortcuts. Retailers have learned how to weaponize that by making buying easier than not buying. You need dish soap. You could add it to a list, remember to get it later, go to the store and buy it there. That takes planning, memory, and effort. Or you could open an app, tap twice, and have it show up tomorrow. The app is easier, so you use the app. But the app is built to make you spend more than you would at the store. It suggests extra items. It offers a discount if you spend over $35, so you add more stuff. It has subscribe and save, which seems practical, but now you are receiving dish soap automatically every month whether you need it or not. The convenience is real and useful, but you pay for it with additional spending you would not have done if buying required more effort. That is why one-click ordering is so dangerous. The friction between wanting something and buying it gives your rational mind time to ask whether you really need it. When friction disappears, impulse buying explodes. Sarah has Amazon Prime. She watches a show where someone uses a certain coffee maker. It looks great. Within 30 seconds, she has found it on Amazon, read 2 reviews, and clicked buy. It arrives in 2 days. She uses it once, realizes her old one was perfectly fine, and the new coffee maker sits on her counter for 3 months before she donates it. The whole decision took less than 2 minutes and practically no thought. If she had to drive to a store, park, find the product, wait in line, drive home, and set it up, she probably would not have bought it. But convenience made the purchase easier than the decision not to buy. The 6th trigger is the sunk cost fallacy applied to subscriptions and memberships. Once you have paid for something, your brain irrationally wants to justify the expense by extracting value from it, even if the best move is to stop using it. You buy a gym membership, so now you feel like you should go even on days you do not want to, because otherwise you are wasting money. Sometimes that is useful. Often it is exploited. You sign up for a streaming service because you want one specific show. It costs $13 a month. You finish the show. The rational move would be to cancel. But you do not cancel because maybe you will watch something else later, and you have already paid for this month anyway, so you might as well keep it through the billing cycle. Next month comes. You still have not watched anything, but maybe you will soon. You have kept it this long, so you might as well keep it a little longer. 6 months later, you have paid $78 for a service you used once. You know you should cancel, but canceling means admitting you wasted the previous months, which feels bad, so you keep paying and hope next month will be the month you really use it. That is the sunk cost fallacy, and subscription companies are designed to exploit it. In 2026, cancellation is deliberately made irritating enough that sunk cost psychology keeps you subscribed. Signing up takes 30 seconds and 1 click. Canceling requires logging in, clicking through multiple pages, answering questions about why you are leaving, and sometimes even calling support. They create friction for cancellation while removing friction for sign-up, because they know many people will keep paying rather than deal with the hassle. The 7th trigger is emotional spending, and 2026 has made it more powerful than ever. You have a rough day at work. Your boss criticized you unfairly. You feel stressed, unappreciated, frustrated. On the way home, you stop at a store and buy something you do not need for $60. You are not buying the object. You are buying a feeling of control and a dopamine hit. Work made you feel powerless, and spending money makes you feel like you are back in charge. The purchase becomes emotional medication. Or maybe you have a great day. You landed a client, got praised in a meeting, and feel like you are crushing it. On the way home, you buy something expensive to celebrate. You deserve it after today. Different emotion, same outcome. An unnecessary purchase driven by feeling instead of need. Retailers have gotten terrifyingly good at matching ads to your emotional state. The ads you see when you are stressed are different from the ads you see when you are happy. The algorithm knows when you are vulnerable based on your browsing habits, the time of day, what you searched for, and how fast you click through content. It shows you products designed to exploit the exact emotion you are feeling. Feeling anxious? Here is something that promises relief. Feeling successful? Here is a luxury item that fits your achievement. The manipulation is so subtle that you do not realize it is happening. You think you are making independent decisions. In reality, you are responding predictably to emotional triggers that systems have learned how to identify and exploit. It feels like your choice, but the conditions that led to the choice were carefully engineered by machines built to extract money when you are most vulnerable to spending. Here is the important thing to understand about all these psychological triggers. They still work even when you know about them. I can explain exactly how scarcity marketing manipulates you, and you will still feel that little rush of anxiety when you see only 2 left. I can show you how identity buying is irrational, and you will still want things that match the person you want to be. I can prove that small purchases add up, and you will still make them because each one feels harmless alone. These triggers work because they operate below conscious reasoning. Your rational brain knows the scarcity is probably fake. Your emotional brain does not care. Your rational brain knows a gym purchase will not make you fit. Your identity brain still gets a reward from the buy. Your rational brain knows $20 purchases add up. Your automatic brain does not treat each one as important. So if knowledge alone is not enough, what is? You need systems that interrupt the trigger before the purchase happens. Here is what that looks like. First, create a mandatory waiting period for all non-essential purchases. See something you want? Great, put it on a list. You are not allowed to buy it for at least 72 hours. If you still want it after 3 days, then you can buy it. What this does is create space between the emotional trigger and the purchase. Most impulse purchases are driven by emotion that fades within hours or days. The waiting period gives the emotion time to die down so your rational brain can check in. Sarah sees the sweater ad at 11 p.m. with only 3 left. Instead of buying it, she screenshots it and puts it on her wish list with a note that she has to wait 3 days. 72 hours later, the scarcity panic is gone. She asks herself the real questions. Do I need another sweater? No. Do I love this sweater enough to pay $90 for it? Not really. Would I rather have $90 invested for my future? Yes. So she does not buy it. The wait saved her $90 by giving her brain time to get past the manipulation. Second, track every purchase for 30 days without judging yourself. Write down what you bought, how much it cost, and most importantly, what emotion you were feeling when you bought it. Were you stressed, bored, happy, sad, anxious? After 30 days, patterns will emerge. You will see that certain purchases happen in certain emotional states. Once you know your emotional triggers, you can interrupt them. David realizes he spends money on his phone game whenever he is avoiding work. The spending is not about wanting power-ups. It is about dodging a task he does not want to face. Once he sees that, he can deal with the real problem, work avoidance, instead of medicating it with micro-purchases. He will still feel the urge to spend when he is procrastinating, but now he recognizes it as an avoidance signal rather than a real desire to buy something. Third, make buying harder by removing saved payment information from websites and apps. No saved cards, no one-click checkout, no facial recognition payments. Every purchase should require you to actually enter the information yourself. That little bit of friction makes impulse purchases more noticeable. When you have to open your wallet, find the card, type in the numbers, and take a few extra seconds, you get a small pause to ask yourself, do I actually want this? That pause is often enough to stop a purchase that would otherwise happen automatically. Fourth, set spending limits by category that automatically block purchases above certain amounts. Your credit card should decline anything over $100 unless you have pre-approved it. That forces you to consciously decide on larger purchases rather than letting them happen on autopilot. You can still make the purchase if you really want it, but you have to adjust the limit or call the bank first, which creates enough friction to think it through. Fifth, audit your subscriptions and memberships every 90 days. Put a reminder on your calendar, pull up your card statement, and identify every recurring charge. For each one, ask, have I used this in the last 90 days? If yes, keep it. If no, cancel it immediately. Do not fall for the sunk cost trap and think about the months you already paid. That money is already gone whether you cancel now or later. The only question is whether you will waste more money in the future. Here is the brutal truth. You are in a psychological arms race with companies that hire behavioral psychologists, data scientists, and AI systems specifically to bypass your rational brain and take your money. They have billion-dollar budgets and decades of research on human behavior. You have awareness and discipline. It is not a fair fight, and sometimes you will lose. The goal is not perfect resistance to every manipulation. The goal is to cut unnecessary spending enough that you can actually build wealth instead of endlessly wondering where your money went. Every unnecessary purchase you avoid is money that can go toward financial freedom instead of clutter you will donate next year. Every trigger you recognize and resist is a win against systems designed to keep you broke. You do not need to win every battle. You just need to win enough of them that your savings actually grow. And that starts with understanding that your brain is being hacked all the time, and the only real defense is to build systems that protect you from your own psychology.